What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I know it's been a hot minute, but I am back. Behind me, we have a completely different van than from last video you saw. Life has been extremely busy on my end, but I've still been working hard. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you exactly what I've done. I've finished paneling the walls, demounted my old AC, fixed the hole in the ceiling, and much more. So come along today and watch me transform my Toyota Commuter from 2011. Let's go. Welcome back to my newbie van build, converting my 2011 Toyota Hiace only using ChatGPT. We're gonna jump straight into it, finishing the insulation on the top panel, the sound deadening, followed by the heat reflecting PE foam, and finishing off with the last layer. But first,
that one is quite thick.
That's what she said last night. Straight back into it with the mounting of the foam all the way. And at this stage now, I'm starting to think a little bit ahead. How am I going to mount the PVC panels on top of the iron frames without losing too much space? Okay, I think I've come up with a solution. I have these thin pieces of wood here, which I'm gonna drill into the frame, and then I'll take these thicker pieces and then on the side have that screwed in, and it's gonna go all the way. And then that way, we're not wasting that much. You see, it's not that much space there. Let's hope it is the right way to do it. Let's go. The way I do this is I drill a small hole through the iron part of the beam and then screwing a slightly bigger screw through that. Then I had to cut the wood pieces themselves that the PVC panels will be mounted straight onto. A little cat action. Then I mount these vertical pieces of wood onto the horizontal pieces of wood. And I'm very happy with how stable it came out. And just to test it out, I brought in one of the longer PVC panels to see how this would fit. In order to make it stay, I had to mount the small metal brackets that came with the PVC panels. We have mounted the first panel above the window. It's not really put on permanently. It needs to be adjusted to where the bottom panels are coming up, but I just wanted to put it on just to see if it would stay on there. I only put on 2 of these brackets, but yeah. So you'll have it come up here. We're gonna do tomorrow the windows, and it's gonna keep going up to the ceiling. What do you say? Should we call it a day?
Yes.
Okay, tomorrow we hit it again. Let's go. Let's do this. In order to finish paneling the wall, I had to start with insulating with layer number 1, the sound deadening layer. Next up, we're gonna do the heat reflective PE foam. When mounting this, I tried to really get into all small hidden compartments of air that would be beneath and the side and above the holes that you see. Alright, second layer done. Now the third and last layer is going to be the foam. This layer is a bit tricky as the foam I have isn't very bendable, so I basically had to cut it in tiny small pieces and shove it in everywhere that I could. It was important for me to make sure that we didn't have any dead space in between the heat reflective layer and the PVC panels. Okay, that should be done now. What I'll do now is that I will rebuild the panels up and let the fun begin. Let's go.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. Yeah, I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter.
Okay, as you can see, we're slowly progressing here with the wall. I'm gonna cut out the windows after, but I found myself struggling to kind of figuring out how should I make the transition between the top part and the wall. And what I've come to realize is that I should probably have made this one a little bit longer. Maybe I'll switch them out, because I'll be able to take one piece that's a little bit longer and then have that covering all the way down here, and then I can literally just build the wall up all the way up to the top. At this stage, for every panel I mounted, it started completely changing the entire look inside the van, and I became very excited about it all. Remember Obviously knowing that after this I'm gonna have to cut out the window, but hoping I will manage without ruining everything. Regardless, this was coming together really, really nicely.
'Cause it was only you and me back then.
Look at that. How's that looking?
You and me, baby, it was you and me.
But here's the next step now. Let's try and make the windows without ruining it.
Growing up,
At this stage, it became very practical that I'm using these PVC panels, as they are very easy to cut into, even just with a Stanley knife. Even though it seems like a bit overkill, it was easier for me to get straight cuts with a grinder on the vertical lines. Next, I had to remove the covering plastic on the PVC panels so that I could start mounting the edges, making sure there would be a nice finish, or as nice as I could make it anyway. This was fairly simple, just a bit of glue, make sure it's nicely fit in the corners, and easy peasy. As you can see here, this is definitely not 100% perfect, but this will have to do for now. This is something I can return to in the future in order to make it just the way I want it. It is done. There is a window, and it correlines with the actual window of the van. So, yeah, perfect. I know, not perfect, but it's done. I think now what needs to happen is I need to finish the panels on this side.
let's just
Same process applies on this side, mounting the horizontal pieces of wood, screwing those into those iron beams, followed by mounting the vertical pieces of wood that I will mount the PVC panels straight onto.
beating, my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna.
After which I had to remove the old curtains and then start building the PVC panels from the bottom up.
Tension, move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now.
Hello! This looks amazing, huh? I've worked so hard today doing all of this. I haven't really been able to take it all in yet. And even with the window, it's looking pretty good. There's nothing about this window that is perfect, but it still looks okay. Still need to cover that little bit down there with the water intake. And then what is going to happen down here in this mess here, that's going to be cleared up, don't worry. But then what you'll see here is I'm obviously going to have this covered by another plate like this. But then I'm going to take these same panels and I'm going to cover that as well. And that's going to be covered all the way around. So all the way here, all the way there, and on this side as well. So you're almost going to see that this panel is going to cover like the whole way around, this side and that side. Yeah. After a long day's work, you can just sit back and look at what you've made. And I know if you're out there and you're like carpenter, you have like experience doing stuff like this, you'll probably think this looks like SHIT. But for me, who essentially just I opened my laptop, I asked ChatGPT what to buy, where to buy it, how to do the installation, how to do this, XYZ, and then I just do it and I hope for the best then. Make decisions as I go. And yeah, here we are. Hello, is that my amazing wife serving me food? It's good to put a ring on that finger, huh? Now I just need one more panel at top. It's looking completely different, huh? Now, before we can continue inside, I have one task that I've been procrastinating on for so long. I need to get it done now. I need to remove the old aircon in the outside and seal that annoying hole that the previous van builder drilled right into center. Not quite sure yet where the next aircon is going to be installed exactly, but I know it's going to be somewhere towards the back of the van in the center. Obviously, the next aircon is going to be mounted straight onto the roof. Now, before I can access the old hole for the wires and seal it, I have the big cage on top of the van, which I thought long and thoroughly about what to do. What I came up with is cutting a hole. I want the solar panel to be mounted on top of this cage in the future, so I decided to leave it in place and simply just cut a hole in that cage, exposing the top ceiling of the van, where in the future I can then mount the next aircon and for now, close the old holes so we are ready for a fresh, new, clean install. In order to do this, I had to get out my grinder, and this was an incredibly tedious piece of work, but in the end, it got done, as you can see here, exposing the hole where the old wires went through, which now needs to be sealed up. So with the help of ChatGPT, this is the order. We're first gonna remove the old silicone fully, then we're gonna sand the edges with my sandpaper and then clean it with the thinner. The next step is going to apply the Sikaflex around the underside of that little aluminum plate that I'm gonna seal the hole with. I'm gonna seal around the edges with even more Sikaflex, and I'm just gonna overdo this because I don't want any water to get back on the inside. At this stage now, I'm just gonna leave it here for about 12 hours until tomorrow, let the Sikaflex dry up, and then I'll continue with the primer and the paint. Next up, I'm gonna head inside. I'm gonna finish the outer layer finish on the bed on the right side of the van, building it exactly like I have with the inside walls of the van. I think this is going to be an absolutely fantastic finish, and with my very limited skills, I think I can pull this off pretty well. Working with this wood-looking PVC obviously makes it super fast and easy to cut and mount. And with the help of a few screws, some glue, I think it came out really freaking nice. And that brings me to the end of this week's video. We've done so much this week, covering the walls and the inside of the van, fixing the hole in the ceiling, building the sides of the side bed. It is looking absolutely great in my opinion, and I'm so happy and proud about how this has taken shape and form. When we come back next week, we're gonna finish the primer, the paint on the first hole of the van and the top of the van, and then finishing the second hole so we have a completely clean slate to install the new aircon. Then we're going to start looking at building the next set of drawers and the new office setup, which is going to be absolutely amazing. I cannot wait. If you want to see more like this, please drop a comment, a like, or even subscribe to see the next video. I cannot wait to have you here for the next one. Thanks for now. See you next week.